Yitzchak, and Ya'akov, V'gomer. But Vayrad Morazok Balai Lula and Alter Rebbe, the one whose yard site was on Chavdal Tevis. So Maimer said on Chafei Tevis. So he's saying over here Maimer from Chavdal Tevis. Balai Lula Chavdal Tevis. Shechal Erev Shabbos, the one whose yard site was on Erev Shabbos Friday was Chavdal Tevis, just like the Kvias of this year. He explains B'Torah Oirim, Shevaera Yesh B'Shnei Pirushim. The word Va'era has in it two explanations. Echad Lashon Avar, one is past tense. Shenizgala la'avis. It's talking about that he was revealed to the forefathers. That Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu, I revealed myself in the past to the Avis. Vasheni Lashon Asid. Another explanation, the word Va'era is in the future tense. Shehu Lashon Haivim, that it's present tense, in other words. The present and the future, if something is constantly happening, it's happening in the future as well. The meaning of this is that there's always this level of appearing. Hashem appears is to be found all the time and in every person. Like we're going to explain soon in the Maimer, not just by Avraham Avinu, but every single Yid. The Rebbe adds what the Alter Rebbe says in his Maimer, since both explanations are in the same word and the same topic, the same concept, it's understood that they have a connection one with another. This means in the very same manner in which it became revealed to the forefathers, in that very same way, there's always this level in every time and in every place. So it's not just in the simple meaning of what the Alter Rebbe is saying is there's one thing about Hashem appeared to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Ya'akov in the past. Then there's another thing, that Hashem appears to every single person in every single time. Comes the Rebbe and says, since the appearance to the Avis in the past and the appearance to every single person in the same time are hinted in the same word, Va'era, therefore it means that that same manner and that same level of appearance that Hashem appears to the Avis in the past, that same way the Eibishter appears to every single person and every time. It says in Nois Beis, going back to what the Alter Rebbe says in Torah Oyer, how is it possible that the Eibishter should appear to every single person every single time? It's not just something that happened to the Avis, because we know only three are called Avis, Avraham, Yitzchak, Ya'akov. Though there's all the Shvatim, and there's Moshe, and there's Aaron, all these great tzaddikim, still in all, only three of them are called Avis, are called forefathers. So what's the significance that only these three are called forefathers, or fathers? Because a father has a special connection with the children. So what the Avis, what Avraham, Yitzchak, Ya'akov impart to Klal Yisrael is unique and different and beyond anything that the Shvatim impart, that Moshe and Aaron give, and so on. So he says, line 14, the level of the Avis is an inheritance for the children following them in every single generation. Therefore, whatever level the Avis represent has to be in every person. Why? Because Shehem Shoyrish U'Makayr Kol Neshamas Yisrael, since the Avis are the root and the source of all the Neshamas of Yidden. So therefore, we have the same idea of what the Avis are is transmitted to every single Yid. Last paragraph on the page. Movement this understood. Shemailas Avodas Avis. The advantage of the avoid of the forefathers, until the highest, most level in this, it's possible to be by every single Yid. Similar to the advantage and quality of the avodah of the Avos, that the Avos were called a divine chariot, a vehicle for Hashem. What does that mean? That they were a vehicle for Hashem? The uniqueness, the novelty of calling them a vehicle. It's not only at the time and when one is fulfilling a mitzvah. So nasas hayadam chaleket tzedakah merkava mamish l'rotzen eliyim baruch. So in the hand, for example, that's fulfilling the mitzvah of giving out tzedakah, it becomes a vehicle for the supernal will of Hashem. This idea that they were a vehicle for Hashem was all of their days, forever, every single moment of their lives, that Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya. In Ikiv and Shebechinas Avos, top of the next page. Since the level of the forefathers is an inheritance for the children following them in every single generation, therefore, every single Yid can have the advantage of the forefathers, that just like the forefathers were a divine chariot, a vehicle for Hashem, all the days of their lives. Therefore, every Yid can have that as well. So just like the idea that since the Avos are fathers of Klal Yisrael, and they give over via inheritance to their children, so in the same way how they give over inheritance to their children, that we should we're able to be a merkava kol yameim, just like they were. The same thing concerning this appearance that Hashem appeared to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. They also give over via inheritance. Line 4, so too it's concerning the idea that Hashem says, I appeared to the Avos. It's in the capability of every single Yid that he should have the idea that I appeared like it was mamish by the forefathers. Including also the idea of that I appeared the way it was by each one of the forefathers distinctly and uniquely, like it says, Yaakov. Though Rashi explains Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov el ha'avos to the forefathers, so you would think it's only about their general, if you will, common denominator thing, but the pasuk actually says Avraham el Yitzchak el Yaakov, each one as distinct from the other, the way they are distinct and different in their avodah. So in the same way, how Hashem appeared to the forefathers as being fathers, and also has he appeared to every single one of the Avos distinctly and uniquely because they're avodah, so too Hashem can appear and be by every single person and every time. Let's see line 10. This idea, the Alter Rebbe uses the expression that the Rebbe is quoting now, is in every time and on every person. B'chol in every time means hainu hein b'avodah yom ha'choil v'hein b'avodah yom ha'Shabbos, both in the weekday service and the service of Shabbos. Shu inyan ha'tainug. Shabbos is the idea of delight. Like we call it Chemdas Yamim, the most beloved and favored of days. And Vayichulu doesn't just mean conclusion, but also Vayichulu is in the word Klois HaNefesh. It's something that's a desirous thing, an outpouring of love. V'Shabbos Shabbosin, and it's a rest of rest. V'ad gam losid lavi, even when Mashiach comes. Shagam Oziyah Inyan Avoida, even when Mashiach comes, there'll be the idea of Avoida. Where do we see that when Mashiach comes, there'll be the idea of Avoida? K'mayim Razal Chazal say, Tzadikim ein la menucha, Tzadikim do not have any rest, even on Olam Haba. Shenamar Yelchu Mechayel Choyel. that they will, like it says, they will go from strength to strength. Like it's explained in the Geras HaKodesh, that when Mashiach comes, when Mashiach comes, there will be a sense in holiness itself. So that's the idea that he says, B'chol Zman, that in all the times of our experience, both weekday and Shabbos and Mashiach's times, all these periods, we have the experience of Eira, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, the appearance of Hashem to us like he did to the others. Also, B'chol Adam, he says, line 18, B'chol Adam, meaning Hainu Hein Imu B'chinas Reshechem Shiftechem, whether he is from those that are considered the heads of the tribes, whether he's a wood chopper and a water carrier, each one has an advantage over the other. The head of the tribes obviously has an advantage over the water carrier, or the water carrier has an advantage over the heads of tribes, like the one whose yard site is this Friday. In other words, Alter Rebbe explains in the Torah Parshat Mitzvah, there's an advantage in the feet over the head. So there's the feet of Klal Yisrael, those are the water carriers, those are the wood choppers. The heads of Klal Yisrael are the heads of the Klal. And even though the head is always assumed to be higher, yet still no, just like in a physical body, the head needs the feet take the head to where it couldn't reach without it. So therefore, in the idea of traveling and going and arriving at wherever you want to arrive, the feet is ahead in that regard. So therefore, in the whole Klal Yisrael, there are distinctions. There are heads and there are legs of Klal Yisrael. Not to say that the heads are more important than the legs, but each one contribute their own thing. And not only the way there are distinct individuals that fall into either the category of heads or the category of feet, but like he says on top of page Zayin, v'gam kifi shebchinas elu yeshlam ba'avodas kol echad ve'echad miYisrael k'may sheyeshlam b'chlolos k'emes b'nei Yisrael. Just like there is in the general stature of Klal Yisrael, that they're the heads of Klal Yisrael, and then they're the legs of Klal Yisrael, so too in every single Yid, there is an avoida where he's an avoida of the head, let's say when he's learning Torah or davening, or when he's an avoida of legs, when he's involved in Kol Masekel Shem Shemaim, Kol Derechad Ha'eyu. In Bechol Bechinas Elu, in all these different levels, both in distinct people and within every person themselves, and every distinct level within that person, there could be the idea that I have appeared like it was by the forefathers. So he goes on, Nois Gimel, the intention of the revelation of Va'edam is to affect and to bring about the idea of going out of Mitzrayim. Like it says, after going out of Mitzrayim, I will take you out, etc. I will save you, etc. I will redeem you, I will take you. These are the four expressions of redemption. Because of that, many things by the Seder is with the number 4, beginning with the 4 cups of wine. From this is understood the idea that I appeared and I appear occurs even when we are found in the exile of Mitzrayim. In the time when you made bad for this nation. Since the exile of Mitzrayim includes in it all the exiles, just like it's in the exile of Mitzrayim, so too it's in this final exile, in the time when you did bad, meaning that Hashem appears to us even when Yidden are in a state when they are in a bad state, in a difficult state. In our goals, that means the Hainu, this means B'choshech, Kafel, Mechupel, the Mashiach, and the double and quadruple darkness of the heels of Mashiach. Yeshnei ha'inyan de va'era, there is the idea that Hashem says He appears. Va'idei and through this appearance, nas inyan ha'geula is the idea of the redemption, because the whole conversation that Hashem was having now with Moshe Rabbeinu was built on the idea of Hariyosah, that Moshe Rabbeinu said at the end of the previous parsha, Lam Hariyos Lam Hazeh. Came Hashem and said, don't worry, we're going to take care of it. Ve'era Lavram, etc., etc. So we see, in a time of Hariyosah, in a time of darkness, in a time of Golus, Hashem appears. And that is what leads and brings about the Geula. Ois Dalet. According to what's known, through what we do down here below, inspiration down here below, that causes an inspiration above. Like explained in Tanya, the revelation of the future time of Mashiach is dependent on our actions and service throughout the entire duration of Golus. How the movements that's understood, to be able to affect the idea of the redemption, not just the redemption, and 4 expressions of redemption. So there has to be the redemption in the person service. A person has to do something that is called his own type of level of geula. Because the avoid has to be similar to and somewhat like the hamshacha that occurs through it. That's what is explained in Amar Chassidus. The general idea of redemption in a person's service, inyan hatshuva is the idea of tshuva. As we'll mention later, because then he becomes redeemed from his own personal imprisonment. And the fact that there are 4 expressions of redemption, these are 4 types of service of tshuva. This means because also tshuva is idea of redemption. That the person redeems himself, like we mentioned just before. He's entrapped, he's in prison by his nefesh habahamis, and now he's releasing himself from that imprisonment. And through a person doing his own personal geula, through tshuva, top of page ches, through that comes about from above the redemption from exile. Because, like we said, we need to do in our avodah similar to whatever is the idea of the avodah and the idea of the geula. This is also what we find, that before there's any matter of Torah mitzvahs, that is about drawing down from above, needs to be preceded by the idea of davening. That's before we go into the day, before we do the mitzvahs of the day, before we learn Torah, our shiurim and learning. First thing is davening. Why? Davening is about raising up from below to above, as we know from the dream of Ya'akov, that the dream that he saw over there, the ladder standing on the ground and reaching to the heavens. That is indicative of davening. The Rebbe often brings us down from the Friedrich Rebbe, that Shamayim, heavens, is one level, Hashamayim with the final hey means even beyond the regular level of heaven. That's how high Lamaila, the halah, is, that we are raising it up to the highest level. So this idea of davening, the Rebbe is going to connect also with the concept of geula, which is tshuva. He says in line 7, Ki'inyan halas on neshama shabat tefillah, because the raising up of the neshama that takes place during davening, like it's known, the explanation of the Baal Hilul Alter Rebbe, concerning that it says that when a person wakes up, his neshama is ba'apoy. His soul is still in his nostrils. What does that mean? Before davening, his neshama is only in his nostrils. It doesn't expand in the entire body. Through davening, we expand the entire neshama and we raise it up higher. So the davening that we have to do, the halom al mata l'mayla, as a introduction, as something has to come before the rest of the day of Torah mitzvahs, is also the idea of tshuva, because we're taking the neshama up, and that's also the idea of tshuva, the return of the neshama to its source. Therefore, just like in the four expressions of redemption, there has to first be the idea of tshuva. And then afterward, there's what's drawn down from above. So too, it's what we're drawing down throughout the day. When we learn Torah, we fulfill mitzvahs. Initially, there has to be the introduction of davening, that's similar to tshuva, to raise up from below to above. And following davening, inyan Torah. After davening, one has to have their shir and learning. Like Chazal say, beis hakneses lebeis hamedrash, a person needs to go from the shul to the yeshiva. And after we had the davening, and after we had the learning, you should act in the ways of the world, which means go out to work. But what's the idea of working? It's all those opportunities for mitzvahs. It's the idea of fulfilling mitzvahs. All of that is the drawing down from above that comes after the elevation, just like we have after the tshuva and the geula comes down, the revelation from above, taking us out of Golus. So now he's going to go a little bit more into detail of the four lashonos of geula and how that applies in tshuva. The idea behind this is like explained to the Mamarim on Parshas Hazinu in L'Kutei Torah, the primary level of tshuva, was like it says in the pasuk, that the spirit should return to Hashem that gave it. Top of page Tes. That's tshuva. Just like we said, there's four lashonos of geula. So in a similar vein, there should be correspondingly four levels in tshuva. Tshuva the surmera, tshuva the asay toiv, tshuva the bakasholm. It says surmera asay toiv bakasholm v'radfeu. Turn away from bad, do good, and search out peace and pursue it. So every one of them is a different type of level of tshuva. And in Bakasholm itself, there's two levels. There's tshuva or bal tshuva. There's the tshuva itself, and there's the master of tshuva. Like it's explained in L'Kutei Torah. So he brings on the side in the commentary, in short, if you want to look at it, that the surmera means his focus is to totally distance himself from anything that has to do with bad. That the whole idea of bad is completely out of his equation. He doesn't consider it at all. The next level is asay toiv, where he immerses himself and looks for more and more opportunities to do good, to add, to increase in his Torah learning, to add and increase in his mitzvahs more than just doing what he needs to do and so on. And then there's the level of bakasholm. Bakasholm is further, that you have the joining of the both together, that he has the return and the making the peace between v'mayishal ma'ila and v'mayishal mata, and this itself, there could be the connection and the level of both Baal Tshuva and Tshuva. Tshuva is the thing itself, and then Baal Tshuva means he's a master over it. He owns it, so to speak.